see what are the salient features of diagnostic testing. First one we have already, whatever we have seen, just we are trying to make it a single point, right? Whatever we have seen, nothing new here. First one is the diagnostic test takes up where the formative test leaves off. Means if you normal achievement test is not going to help us, so this diagnostic test has a special work to do, right? Where you cannot use the achievement test. Next is a diagnostic test is a means by which an individual profile is examined and compared against a certain norms or criteria. Means we have seen this is for this particular level I have taught something, and these are the things students should know. So you fix the norms, these are the criteria, you fix it, this much a student should understand. Then you compare whether the student has achieved or not. Third is diagnostic test focuses on individual's educational weakness. How that particular student is weak and what are the learning difficulty the student is facing and how he is far away from other students. From the how average and below average students are far away from the high achievers. Next is diagnostic test is more intensive and act as a tool for analysis of learning difficulties. So you give the test, for example, we have seen 0 minus 0 or 6 minus 0, 5 minus 0. The student has not done that particular type of sum. So you create the question which involves such type of items where this type of questions are added more. So it is more intensive in nature, and you analyze the test. So you understand pinpointing the learning difficulties of the students. Diagnostic test is more often limited to low achievers. Normally it is used for low achievers to identify their error or mistakes. Diagnostic test is corrective in nature. After you give the diagnostic test, you should go for the remedial teaching. Otherwise, just knowing their problem is not enough. Diagnostic test pinpoint the specific types of error each pupil, means each student is making, and searches for underlying cause for the problem. Why that particular student, this particular student is doing this particular mistake? Why that particular student is doing that particular mistake? Diagnostic test is much more comprehensive. Means it encompasses so many things. You are actually pinpointing the student's mistake. So you are going to analyze it in a large scale. Diagnostic test helps us to identify the trouble spots and discover those areas of a student's weakness, where the students are getting trouble, where the students are weak. That normal test is not going to help, but in this case diagnostic test is going to help us. Now we are going to the dimensions of diagnostic test. What are the dimensions? Well, who can conduct? First one is who can conduct. You know who can conduct? Only teacher. Okay, it is a teacher. Or it may be sometimes researcher. So the research topics about the diagnostic test means that researcher will do such, prepare the such diagnostic test. Where you are doing? Obviously in the school, right? School where students are there. Or when this one online teaching, home, or places. Normally it is only school. Third one is on whom. Obviously it is learner. Whom you are going to is for learners, no, it is for students. You are going to apply on students. You are going to test the students. Then what is the purpose of diagnostic test? Specific strength and weakness. Students' specific strength and weakness you are going to find. So where the student is good and where the student is doing mistake. For example, we have seen When there is no carrying, a student is able to subtract, but when there is carrying, a student is unable to subtract. So these are the strength and weakness you are going to see about the students, and then about the length of time, how much time it will take. Okay, sometimes it is more time it will take. You will be giving 2 or 3 tests to understand where exactly the student is doing mistake, error. For example, the problem involves so many steps. Okay, so you have to check each and every step. So many questions, many type diagnostic test you will be giving, it takes more time. In subtraction, in the case of subtraction, just one test is enough, right? Next is technique. Techniques of, what are the techniques we are going to use? Test, obviously, you will be giving test to the students, right? Sometimes you may interview, observation, you can see their notebook, no, when they are writing the classwork. Okay, you can give some question and you just go around the class and see their notebook, where exactly they are doing mistake. Okay, you can interview the students, so many methods you can do, you can adopt. And you can see their worksheets. Okay, you can give worksheets to the students. In the particular worksheet, what the students how the students are solving the problem, something like that. So many techniques you can use it. Next is sequence. Okay, how we are going to do it is obviously logical and step by step. We have seen many steps, what and all you have supposed to do. We have already discussed about it. Next is the 8th one, method of. Okay, it is a type of therapeutic, means where the problem lies you find and you are going to cure it. Okay, so you call it as a therapeutic, means you find a problem and you curing the problem. So you can call it as therapeutic. So as soon as diagnostic test is done, you go for the remedial coaching. So remediation has to be done. Otherwise your diagnostic test is of no use. Okay, the 9th one is support. Whose support you need? Of course, learner. Of course, parents. Other teachers. Okay, why other teachers help you need? Suppose the student is doing some mistake, no, you can go to the teacher who taught them in the lower class. Suppose the student is in 9th standard, you can talk to the student you can talk to the teacher who taught that particular student in 8th standard. So you need teachers' help also, right? Sometimes. Next is steps of educational diagnostic test. We have already discussed about the steps, you remember? So I will tell orally this one. We have already learnt about it. I will tell orally. Identifying and classifying students having learning difficulties. So you identify, these are the students who are having, and classify, these are the type of mistakes the students are doing. So learning difficulties. For that, constant observation of the pupil. During the classroom you can observe them, or when they write the classwork, something like that, you can observe the students, or continuously test, you can just see the type of error, the particular type of error the student is doing. Then analysis of performance, avoiding assignments. Maybe the student is not at all doing the assignment because that student unable to do. Okay, that is the reason the student is not doing. Or sometimes he may copy from his friends. That is also a problem, right? Informal classroom unit achievement test. Suddenly means not telling them today you are going to have test, something like that. Some simple test you can give. Today shall we write test, like that simple test you can give without informing in advance. It is an informal type of test, like you can ask orally, something like that. right? Students should not know that you are giving test and you are diagnosing them, right? Like that informally you can do it. Next is tendency of withdrawal and gap in expected and actual achievement. This is what the achievement should be. You expect, no, this is this much, suppose you give 10 questions, at least 9 questions students should answer. So you have some expectation, but what actually the student has done, that is, this is the difference between these two, right? Next step, first one what we have seen is, first step is identification and classification of pupils having learning difficulties. Second step is determining the specific nature of the learning difficulty of errors. That is, what is the nature of error the student is doing? That you can do it using the observation, and if you ask question orally, how the student is giving response, that also gives you idea. Your written classwork, maybe you might have given assignment to the student or a test to the student. So all this will help you. Next is analysis of students' assignment test performance, that is what I told you. Analysis of cumulative and anecdotal records. This is very important. Cumulative means 4 or 5 tests together, how the student is performing. So cumulatively you are saying. Anecdotal records means a student who behaves in a particular time in a particular way, right? Normally the student is fine, but in a particular time he may be differently he may be acting. For example, in normal classroom, student is very silent. If you watch the same student in the playground, means every day you are watching, everything is fine. One particular day you have seen that student is fighting too much. So that is, some situation has come that he became too aggressive. So that is known as, you take record of that. What is the situation which made him aggressive? So this record is known as anecdotal records. Next one is determining the factors, reasons or cause. What is cause of why the student is doing mistake? So you are going to find the factors, you are going to find the reason why the student is doing mistake. For that you are going to collect the data. What you are doing, how to collect the data, how is nothing but retardation in basic skills. Student is unable to do like addition. For example, you are teaching about the polynomial addition, something like that. The normal addition itself, student is doing mistake. So basic skills the student lacks. Then inadequate work study skills means he is not doing the enough work, enough studies. Scholastic aptitude factors. So there are certain factors, means student is unable to understand, that is also aptitude is mathematical aptitude is not there. That is also one of the problem. Physical or mental, emotional. For example, the student is very fine till 8th standard, but 9th standard he is having some problem. Maybe house there is a problem, because of that emotionally he is disturbed, or something he might with an accident. Physical problem may be quite possible. Next is indifferent attitude or environment. That particular classroom, his friends is not, means he is not getting along with his friends, or nobody is good for him. So his attitude, his environment is not conducive. So that is the reason he is unable to listen in the classroom. Okay, and he may not be having positive attitude towards mathematics. That is also quite possible. Next is improper teaching methods. The teaching method you are using is not suiting the student. That is also quite possible. The fourth thing is remedial measures, treatment to rectify the difficulties. You understood the difficulty, you are going to take the remedial measure. Providing face-to-face interaction, talking to the student, providing as many simple examples. Start giving so many simple examples so that the student can easily understand, and then giving concrete experience. Experiential learning is very easy, no? So give them some experience, give them life examples which is used in the life, or concrete example. Or promoting active involvement of students. Students also, you involve those students who are weak, so they feel happy, yes I did. Then consultation of psychologist. If it is too much mistake, means you should talk to psychologist, of course. Then strong motivation, you motivate that particular child. The last one is prevention of recurrence of the difficulties. That this type of difficulty should not recur, right? So you have to stop that.